a special treat for you today. We're here at the St. John's Town Center. This is actually the premier shopping here in Northeast Florida, where you got Nordstrom's and Gucci and Louis Vuitton and, of course, really great restaurants. Everything you kind of need for going out and looking good is here at the St. John's Town Center. So you want to be sure to check it out and put it on your list. So today what we're going to be unpacking is a very important topic. We're going to be diving into the cost of living here in Northeast Florida. We're going to talk about two of the most popular counties here in Northeast Florida, which is Duval County, which is Jacksonville, where I'm currently standing, as well as St. John's County when it comes to housing, property tax, homeowners insurance, and everything you need to know before making your big decision to purchase a home here in this area. All right, guys. Now I look forward to unpacking more and giving you the information you need to make an informed buying decision. All right, guys, stay tuned. Guys, so we're going to unpack some of the important factors of what you need to know when it comes to relocating here to Northeast Florida, which is the most important, which is the cost of living, right? So on average, you should be prepared when it comes to Duval County versus St. John's County. It's going to be a drastic difference. And oftentimes that's why I ask people, first question is, what is your desired budget? Now, if you're still not sure how much you are prepared to spend on purchasing a home, we have a great website called bankrate.com. Again, bankrate.com. You can pull up their mortgage calculator there. You know right about how much money you probably have saved up or set aside. And there you can calculate a monthly payment that will work for you. So on average in St. John's County, the median home price, meaning the average single family home in St. John's County, is selling for the mid to high 500,000, and that's depending on the part of St. John's County. Now we have some areas in St. John's County like Nocatee, Ponte Vedra, where homes are selling on average around the 700,000s. Now if you're looking in the 210 area of St. John's County, your homes will be around the 500,000. If you look south of St. Augustine, which is about 30 minutes away from 210, you can get a nice home in the mid 400,000s. Okay. So you have options. And when it comes to Jacksonville is the largest city in the United States of America. So that's why it's really important that you get clear about your budget, because some homes in Jacksonville and Duval County can start around the mid 300,000s range. Now, if you want to be in this area here, closer to the premier shopping and close to the university, close to the beach, close to where everything is, then you're going to need to be prepared around the mid to high 400,000s for Duval County. Okay. Now let's jump into some other things that's really affecting people's affordability as far as housing, the interest rates. Now I know right now interest rates, of course, guys, we cannot be not realistic and think that we're going to go back to 2% or 3%, guys. That's just not going to happen. Okay. But we do have great incentive programs right now with different builders in this area offering to buy down your rate. So my last two customers that just closed, they got the rate on one got a rate of 4.9. I think the other one got a rate of 4.75 in money towards their closing costs. So that is a really great option. And that's what I recommend for most of my customers right now, to go with the builder's lender and allow them to buy down your rate and give you money towards your closing costs. So there are opportunities out there. So if you go again to that bankrate.com, right, use the mortgage calculator, put in an average around 5.5% and say, hey, if a house is 500,000, 550, 700,000, the houses that you're looking at, and there you can see if the payment is comfortable for you. Okay. So let's jump over to our next thing that will definitely affect your ability to buy a home in this area, which is closing costs. Now here in Northeast Florida, here in Florida in general, our closing cost is a little higher than some parts of the country. On average, you need to be prepared for 3.5% of the sales price for your closing unless costs. You're using the new home construction route. Many of the builders in this area, again, are offering great incentives where they're offering, say, $10,000 to $15,000 towards your closing costs. Now, let's go into a next thing that is a really sticky thing here in the state of Florida: homeowners insurance. Now, you probably have heard, I'm very ashamed of the fact that Florida has been ranked #1 in home insurance fraud. And we won't go into why, guys. It's a whole nother story. But right now, insurance rates have been climbing and soaring. Now, most of my customers, like really all of my customers, haven't really been affected by it because most of them have bought newer homes. So homeowners insurance for newer homes have not been affected as much as homes that are over 10 to 15 to 20 to 30 years old, because insurance companies now are considering them more of a risk than before. And so it's going to be very important that if you're buying an older home that's more than 10 to 15 years established, that you get a proper inspection, that the home insurance company can see the condition of the roof, the wind mitigation, and other factors that give you a great insurance rate. Okay. And if you want more information about that, I'm happy to help. But if you just want to keep it simple, stick to a house that's no more than 5 years old and that has an extended roof life, or they've actually recently replaced the roof. So a lot of times you see these homes that are cheap, you're like, why is this home so cheap? It's because it needs a new roof oftentimes. All right, let's jump over our next thing that will affect your affordability here in Northeast Florida, which is our property tax. On average, our property tax, just so you can get an estimate, will be 1.2%. Now, I know in other parts of the country it is significantly higher, but on average, about 1.2% of the sales price will give you a good average. Now, that's not including your homestead exemption. When you actually file that says this is your primary residence, you get a bit of a discount on your property tax here in Florida. Okay. Now let's go into our next thing that affects oftentimes people buying a home in this area, which is a CDD fee and an HOA fee. Guys, I know the CDD fee throws some people off, but just think about it. When you have all this, like you see how we have these beautiful palm trees and all this infrastructure, when you choose to buy in these neighborhoods that have resort style amenities and they're fully staffed and all those great things, it comes at a premium. Okay. And it has to be maintained. Somebody has to trim those bushes. Somebody has to pay the staff that's there to guard the gate or watering the plants or monitoring the water slides, etc. So the CDD fee normally for most of our master plan communities that have resort style amenities is around $2,000 a year. Most people count it as really nothing because it breaks down to about $180, $190 to $200 a month that's factored into their mortgage. Most people love it because it basically gives them the access to vacation style living every day right at their fingertips. So they don't necessarily have to take those extra trips to Disney World or Chuck E. Cheese because the resort and everything for their kids to do and the staff and the events is right in their neighborhood. Okay. Now the HOA fee is basically for the sake of reinforcing the rules and regulations that the homeowners have decided that needs to be in place to govern their community. I know some people have really hard time for an HOA. I worked for an HOA, guys, right as I was transitioning into real estate. And guys, I promise the HOA people, they're not going around with nothing to do to just make your life miserable. Half the time we had no idea anything was going on in the neighborhood until someone came and told on somebody else. So unless you got neighbors that are telling on you, the HOA people, that they're not trying to make work for themselves and write you dirty letters. Okay. So don't be afraid of HOA communities. Okay, guys. All right. Other things that's going to affect your cost of living here in any state, anywhere you choose to live. Of course, it's income tax, but guess what? We don't have income tax, of course. So that's one of the main benefits of moving here to the state of Florida is you have no tax on your income. Now, you will have sales tax, and Duval County is 7.5%, and St. Johns County is 6.5% on any items you purchase, okay? Now, let's go on to our next thing that you need to keep in mind. Rental costs here varies based on, again, a location where you choose to live. In some areas, rental cost is higher than even a mortgage, depending on the area, especially if you looking in like Ponte Vedra, Nocatee area. Some of those rental homes are just ridiculously priced. But just so you know, most real estate agents here in this area do not cover rentals as we are not compensated for those. However, property management companies are one of your best resources because they have more access, because most times people rent out their properties through a property management company and they're not always public on the internet. So you want to be sure if you're interested in a rental to reach out to, sorry guys, got tongue tied. You want to be sure that you reach out to a property management company like Nest Finders and a few others that can get you the best up-to-date information and list on rental properties that may be available in the area. Now let's jump over to the next thing, electric costs. So this is a big thing, especially for my people moving from California, I guess, you know, with the solar panels and all the rest of that stuff. And people always get freaked out, like, we can't put solar panels on our house here. You guys, you honestly don't want to. It's a bit of a headache, and it's between the mortgage and if it's paid off, it can be a big of a hassle. But on average, most of my customers, even with larger families that have family size of 6, reported to me that their electric bill is no more than $200 a month tops. Okay. Now, all right, let's move on to the next thing that may affect your cost of living here, which is your car insurance. Now, of course, we are a no-fault state. We have what we call PIP that is required for you to have on your car insurance. Now, I can't give you an estimate as far as what your car insurance is going to be, but I will tell you that some of my customers did say they are, depending on where they moved from, where PIP may not have been required, they did see an increase in their car insurance, but most people told me that their car insurance was no more than $100 to $150 a month, depending on their driver history, you know, how many accidents they've gotten in, etc. Other things, health insurance. Now, again, that's going to vary whether your job is paying for it, whether you're paying for it private. I will tell you, if you're like paying for your own health insurance, it can get really costly here, to more almost like $400 or more a person if you're paying for it out of pocket and you don't actually have a job that's subsidizing your health insurance. Now, gas. Typically our gas here is below the national average. We're at like $3.50 right now, $3.30, $3.45. As far as going out, most people tell me that have moved here, especially from New York and New Jersey, that it's significantly cheaper going out to eat here, going out for drinks. You're going to save a lot of money, especially if you love to go out to eat here, and you're going to actually have a better hospitality experience. That's what my New Yorkers tell me. They tell me the wait staff in here is a lot better than what they've experienced in the North End. But on average, you should to go out for a nice dinner out for 2, including a glass of wine, etc. It should run you no more than, even if you kind of did an appetizer, entree, and a glass of wine, you should be no more than $100 a visit. Okay. All right, let's go into our next thing, groceries. Now, guys, I can't really give you a predictor on that. I will just tell you, one of my couples that have probably 4 kids, they tell me they spend about a little over $600 a month, but they have 4 growing big kids. So that's on average. But you know, groceries is going to depend on whether you eat organic, etc. We have great grocery stores here, like Sprouts. That's one of my favorite. We have Fresh Market. We have Whole Foods. We have Publix, which is like everybody's favorite here. Publix. We have Winn-Dixie. A lot of great grocery options as well. So I hope this just gives you a little bit of more insight on the cost of living here in Northeast Florida. Again, guys, it's going to be very, very important that you get really clear about your budget, how much you're prepared to spend, and really clear about what kind of lifestyle you want to live here. We have really so many options, whether you want to live at the beach, whether you want to live at a golf course, whether you want to live in one of our master plan communities with resort style amenities that's fingertips, whether you want to live in a community that's walkable, like San Marco, and you want to be able to walk everywhere. We have so many options here, whether you want to live in a boating community, you want to live on the river. We have so many options here, but it's going to be very important that you get clear about what your budget is and what's important to you. Please know I'm here to help. My name is, again, Kashira Francis, aka Francis. I am your Florida real estate agent, your relocation specialist, a new home construction advisor, here to walk you through the process and make sure you get paired up with the right home at the right budget at the right time for you and your family. Don't hesitate to reach out, guys. We want to make sure we get you in a good position. All right. I want to be sure that you watch my next video on the pros and cons of living in Jacksonville, as well as the pros and cons of living in St. Johns County. I'm going to put those 2 videos right here for you to watch. All right, guys, stay tuned, and I look forward to hearing from you.